The Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens battling tonight at the Bell Center. The Oilers with a record of 9-7-2. The Montreal Canadiens come in at 6-10-2. Chris Knobloch will start. Brett Kulak and Troy Stetcher on defense. This is again for Edmonton a third consecutive night. They're forced to go 11-7. Victor Arvidsson unable to go tonight, so Josh Brown, who just got recalled from Bakersfield, will be in the lineup as the seventh defenseman. And then, of course, up front, Leon Draisaitl flanked by Corey Perry and Vasily Podkolzin with the injury to Arvidsson, unable to go for a third straight game. It's 11-7. You'll see Skinner and Ryan rotating with a plethora of different center ice options on the fourth line. And then for Montreal, Sam Montembeault starting in net up front. It will be Alex Newhook, Cole Caulfield, and Jake Evans in the middle. He's playing second line center as they're trying to get Kirby Dach going while playing him with Nick Suzuki and Juraj Slafkovsky. Other than Caulfield, Montreal's two best offensive players. Defensively, Lane Hudson, the rookie, and David Savard will begin the game on the blue line for the Canadiens, who arrive 30th in the league in goal differential, 30th in the league in winning percentage. And right now, Pierre Houde, the great media stalwart for so many years here in French Canada, accepting a rousing standing ovation from 21,000 plus. And Bob, I know you could speak intelligently, far more intelligently than yours truly, about his career.
Well, I did stats for him with him and Yvon Penneau, who was the longtime color analyst on the RDS broadcast back in the day. And yeah, Jack, before I was doing the color for the Oilers, or even before I was hosting the drive show back in the late 1990s, I was working with Pierre. He was a complete gentleman, has a massive following. But I mean, you learn things from all the different broadcasters that you worked along the way, and that ended up being one of those situations with Pierre. So he was, a great guy. He's just doing a little bit of a speech right now, and great appreciation, obviously, for winning the Foster Hewitt Award, being nominated as the broadcaster that goes into the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's got his family out on the ice. It's an awesome thing. But a real good guy, has a bit of a sense of humor, which I can appreciate. You need it, and there is, and you know this, Jack. I mean, this is, for me, this is my favorite place to broadcast a game from, and I know that you love doing games. You love doing games here as well. And we're a little bit, we are going to run the full anthem tonight as well. So once Pierre wraps up, the speech is in French, by the way. But no, just a really talented broadcaster, a guy that's got great energy over the years in a hockey-obsessed market where hockey is a religion. And it ends up being one of those things where it's great to see that a guy gets honored really for a tremendous career in this marketplace, Jack, as well. And that's part and parcel to why he's out there being recognized. He's, as we mentioned, he's just finishing up his speech right now. But this is a big game for both of these teams tonight. For the Oilers, they got to start, Jack, the Oilers have got a 9-7-2 record. They're 9-4-2 over the course of their last 15 games, but I think you and me both think they got a little bit more juice to give here. And for the Canadiens, they're trying to find their defensive game, and they've played a little bit better the last couple games defensively. They had a big win in Buffalo a week ago Monday. I watched most of that game. They always beat Columbus, so I don't know if you can count that. But
they've won 2 of 3 after an 0-5-1 skid, but coming off back-to-back years where they improved by 13 and 8 points respectively, I think a lot of people in Montreal, and it's a demanding market just like Edmonton, we're expecting them to take the next step. Maybe not get into the playoffs, but certainly contend for a club that was 76 points. Wow. That's about 14 below the cut line, and getting off to this kind of start has made a lot of people reconsider where this club is at in Montreal.
They also have something working against them. They're in the wrong division. I mean, I think we know that, you can get off to a tough start in the Pacific, and the Oilers have also had a situation the last couple of years where they haven't been playing the Anaheims and the San Jose ways early in the season. But you can make some ground as the season goes on in the Pacific. Pacific.
They got 3 Stanley Cup champions in that division. Recent vintage, all in this decade.
This is a time, and it's not just Montreal. It's feeling that. It's Detroit, it's Ottawa, and it's Buffalo. All 4 of those teams.
And lately, Boston's been feeling it because all of a sudden the Bruins are struggling to sit at and around 500.
So this is going to be, for me, this is going to be an interesting game tonight. Now this is a little bit of a lengthy delay to the start of this game, which by the way is
it is a 35-40 year career, so I imagine he's got a few capsules.
Well, we did Rod Phillips. Obviously, you know how special Rod was, 37 years in Edmonton. And you had the distinction of getting a chance to be the man that replaced Rod, and you never really do.
I didn't replace him,
but you know what I'm saying.
I was the next guy up.
Yes, but away you go. And certainly in Pierre's case, he's a special guy. The Canadiens are an interesting team. They got some Western Canadian players. There's a heavy NCAA influence on this team. And isn't it interesting, Jack, that after a stellar performance from Samuel Multiple in the first game of the year against the Leafs, people were talking about him for Team Canada. People were talking about Stuart Skinner as well. We're not going to see Skinner tonight.
And he's off to a rocky start as well. That's what I was going to mention. The goaltending matchup. Calvin Pickard gets the call, meaning Stuart Skinner will play tomorrow night in Ottawa when Bob and I have that game for you at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Sam Montembeault, once again, the starter for the Montreal Canadiens. Your starting lineup brought to you by Coventry Homes. Flexibility within reach. Get back in the game with customizable designs by Coventry, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton beat Montreal twice, both times in overtime last year, and they've had a lot of success in the Bell Center with points in 18 of their last 21 visits, going 13-3-5 over that stretch. Now we go ringside for tonight's national anthem.
Tonight's exclusive NHL broadcast.
Shoots and scores! But now it's Draisaitl off to Connor McDavid. Centers Kane for the hat trick. He scores!
All the action called by the voices who know the game inside and out.
This crowd explodes!
Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels on the Oilers Radio Network.
From the Bell Center in Montreal, 21,000 plus here, ready for Edmonton and Montreal. First of 2 meetings, of course, and the Oilers last year with a pair of overtime wins. Evan Bouchard won the game here in Montreal on a goal set up by Leon Draisaitl. Leon himself scored the game winner when the two hooked up in Oil Country. The Oilers left to right in their white sweaters, orange and blue trim. Montreal in the bleu blanc et rouge, as they say here in Montreal, although in much better French than that. And a face-off won by Leon Draisaitl against Jake Evans. We're underway. Sam Montembeault to handle the puck for the Montreal Canadiens. Only 1 win in 5 career starts against Edmonton. Again, traditionally this is a matchup where the Oilers have fared very well, particularly in this building. They step in a shade offside, coming over the line left to right. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins plays his 900th game tonight for Edmonton, and For Jake Evans, he's going to slide out here, and Alex Newhook will take the draw at center, which is won cleanly by Draisaitl, rocketed in by Brett Kulak, who, of course, spent 4 years here in Montreal, was part of the 2021 Canadiens club that surprised everyone by going all the way to the Stanley Cup final before losing to Tampa. Here's a chance for Podkolzin, and a wrist shot disappears into the glove of Sam Montembeault. And you and I were watching the morning skate today, and Draisaitl on more than a few occasions, I think they were having a good time, but he also came over and gave Podkolzin lots of love. Chris Knobloch mentioned his contributions. I think everyone on this team is waiting for that one breakthrough.
Chris Knobloch said he's the best player in the league that has not scored a goal. And Leon tried to find him with a kick pass. But just an extraordinary touch from Draisaitl and a good stop there from Montembeault.
Nugent Hopkins beaten off the draw by Nick Suzuki, Montreal's captain and best player, coming off a career year. 33 goals and 77 points. In fact, Bob, as you know, he's had 3 straight career years. A blast by Nugent Hopkins. Again, playing game number 900 was blocked. McDavid behind the net. Hyman will kick it out to the high slot, and that's going to be handled by Matthias Ekholm. He'll in turn move it back to McDavid. The return pass is off the mark. McDavid arrives on a serious heater. 4 goals, 11 points in his last 4 games. And when you're on that kind of heater, even when the puck eats you up, as it did times on Saturday night, he still had a goal and an assist. And the goal, of course, tied the game in the final minute and a half. Juraj Slafkovsky, who in his rookie year put up 20 goals and 50 points. I should say his first full season. Played 30-some-odd games as a rookie back in 2023. He'll get it in deep. It's a reset for Ty Emberson. Up the middle, broken up by Brendan Gallagher. Retrieved by Derek Ryan when he tried to put it back into his own zone. Calvin Pickard is forced to play it. 2-4 lifetime against the Canadiens with a save percentage of .907. Gallagher sneaks in, short side stuff, and a save made by goaltender Calvin Pickard, and that will lead to a 2-on-1. Jeff Skinner lights up Montreal, a wrist shot and a save made by Montembeault. Skinner feeling it against the Canadiens, particularly in this building. He's had 11 goals in his last 11 games against Montreal, and both of his career 5-point games, including a 4-goal outing, have come at the expense of the Canadiens.
Well, he had a good opportunity off the rush. He didn't pick the puck up cleanly, and that kind of delayed him half a stride, but he made the right decision. He put the puck to the net, and Montembeault fought it off.
Henrique centers Janmark and Connor Brown, and off that face-off, won by Lucas Condotta, who tonight plays just his 10th National Hockey League game, up the left-hand side for Emil Heineman. Likewise, a rookie for the Canadiens, who did play a full season last year in the American Hockey League and got into 4 NHL games. But this is a young Montreal club, average age right around 25. Travis Dermott over to Josh Brown, who makes his Oiler debut, long awaited. Expected to make the team out of camp, did not perform particularly well at camp.
Just hit Connor Brown with a puck, and Connor Brown is a little bit stung with that one. It bit him.
Well, and remember, Edmonton has 11 forwards. Here's McDavid up to Zach Hyman. Churning the legs, getting it in deep, twisting it out for Nugent Hopkins, a wrist shot, and that flew high and wide on the blocker side. Rebound, McDavid battles, collects. Nugent Hopkins had it tapped away. Puck winds up on the left half boards where Nugent Hopkins able to regain for Ekholm. Slid it down low for McDavid. Lane Hudson tracking him, and he got picked, and the Oilers got away with a trip. McDavid backdoor and swing and a miss for Hyman. Maybe a little karma there as the Canadiens bank it off the right-hand glass and out.
What a chance for Edmonton. Fans didn't like the non-call.
Bouchard off a Canadiens clear will start through the middle of the ice. First goal means everything to Montreal. They're 6-2 when they get it. They're 0-8-2 without that goal to start the game. Ekholm dumps it in just out of the reach of Connor McDavid. Tracked and cleared safely by Caden Gooley, the Sherwood Park product. Up to Alex Newhook, and he'll dump it in. Hard rim by Stetcher up the right-hand side. Emberson did not get it out. Suzuki the live stick. And now Kirby Doc races over to make a play on it. Had reconstructive knee surgery, got hurt early last season, and is still finding his way. Shot in deep by Jaden Struble of Montreal, and Pickard will play it up the left-hand side. Struble able to hang on to it. put it back behind the net. Ty Emberson there to clear, and now Stetcher with some open ice. Busts down the seam, enters the Montreal zone, and has a give and go with Corey Perry, but when he tried to locate Josh Brown, there was a miscommunication. Brown has to drift back to play it. Brown +5 and 2 assists in 12 games of the Condors. The league leader in penalty minutes down in the AHL. Turnover at center by Kulak. Here's a chance. Christian Dvorak denied by Calvin Pickard from the left circle. Canadiens with their best look by far in the first 4.5 minutes. No score as Brown inadvertently backhanded it into the Montreal bench. 15-16 to play in the first period. I talked to Josh this morning, Bob. I don't know whether you had a chance to. There was a lot of people crowded around him. And he did say the first thing I had to get past is the fact, okay, I'm going down there. How do I turn this into a positive?
Right.
How do I make the most of it? And I think particularly for a veteran player, a proven NHLer, that's sometimes the biggest hurdle.
Well, Josh Brown and Connor Brown spent time together in Ottawa, and Connor Brown is on the ice after Josh Brown hit him with the shot.
He's back. Oilers again, 11 forwards, 7 defensemen tonight. Victor Arvidsson missing a third straight game. Here's a shot by Hudson off the draw. Coming into the zone, it was deflected over the net. Josh Anderson back to David Savard. Slap pass across. Savard is the one guy who's long in the tooth on the back end. Hudson can really skate, and he just drew a penalty for Connor Brown, who chopped him down. Tripping call at 5:08, and the Oilers will see the Canadiens go on their first power play of the night, and this has been one of the few bright spots for the 30th place Montreal Canadiens. Their power play is now 10th. It was 27th last year at 22%, and even their penalty kill has gone from 24th in the league, Bob, to middle of the pack. 5-on-5, they've been outscored and outscored badly, but their special teams has improved.
And Edmonton's been outscored badly on special teams.
Nugent Hopkins wins the face-off, and that's wired down the ice by Matthias Ekholm. But this Napa Auto Parts penalty kill showing signs of emerging from an early season slump. They've wiped out the last 8 chances for the opposition. In addition to Nugent Hopkins and Ekholm, it's Derek Ryan and Ty Emberson. As jitterbugging his way in was Nick Suzuki. A right-handed shot. He got tied up behind the net. Slavkovsky couldn't maintain, and it was cleared by Ekholm. Now, Brown was part of a top 10 penalty-killing unit down in the American Hockey League that got nicked for a few on Saturday, but it's been pretty good. We'll see whether he gets a look tonight as it's sent in deep by Mike Matheson. That'll curl off the corner boards and all the way back to center. Matheson was top 10 D-men in terms of points produced last year as he put up 62. Another length of the ice clear by Adam Henrique. And Edmonton not letting Montreal get set up here. Halfway through the penalty to Connor Brown. Wayne Hudson in over the line. Heineman will send it around the boards, and then it was poked free, but Kulak was there to one-time it down the ice. Montembeault forced to free it up for Lane Hudson, and Montreal yet to get set here, 1:15 into this power play. The on-rushing Alex Newhook in his 4th full season. Gives it up to Yoel Armia. He got checked by Stetcher. 4-player scrum in the corner. Carving it loose was Kulak. Squirted free on net. Pickard's just going to fall on it with 13:18 to go in this first period. We'll keep it right here with 26 seconds still in the penalty to Connor Brown.
Oilers are a good face-off team. They've played a run of good face-off teams, but Edmonton's still
top 5.
4th in the league at 53.3. And the Canadiens, well, they struggle in the circle. 24th in the league at 47.9.
Alex Newhook moves in for the draw, wins the face-off back to Hudson. 5-on-5, Montreal is dash 19 this year. Hudson, side of the net, backdoor play, and a save made on Heineman. Pickard with an excellent read, and Heineman denied as he looked to score his 4th of the year. Just turned 23 years of age on Saturday. Pickard stoned him. Hudson, after an Edmonton clear, brings it back in, but the Oilers have killed off another one. Dermott able to hold his position. Draisaitl with the puck. Connor Brown is out of the box, and Draisaitl hits McDavid in stride. Off the successful PK. The Oilers load up with Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman at 5-on-5. But Montreal able to wrap it around the boards, and Bouchard will pick it up inside the blue line. One touch, McDavid. Little spin move by Draisaitl. He'll drag his way through. tied with Caulfield right now for second in the league with 13 goals on the season. Bouchard down low for McDavid, fires a tough pass, and that's broken up. Actually, they're tied for the lead. Reinhart being the other with 13. Ovechkin is there too. Bouchard, high slot. Ovechkin had a hat trick last night. 5-on-5 continues. Draisaitl peering inside. It's not there. Faked the drop off and now tried to hit McDavid, and Anderson takes a penalty. McDavid went hard to the net, and Anderson took him out. It's going to be a call coming against Montreal, likely for interference. Draisaitl will move it to the corner. McDavid to Nugent-Hopkins, the extra man. This is now 6-on-5 as the Oilers have gotten the extra man out there with a delayed penalty. Draisaitl to Ekholm, a drive that was blocked. Rebound, and Montembeault, a tough save on Zach Hyman. Ekholm keeps the play alive in the offensive zone for McDavid, high slot. Back to Ekholm, left point. 11:25 remaining in this scoreless first period. Zach Hyman. Ekholm walks the line, switches spots with McDavid, moves it top of the right circle for Draisaitl. In front, Nugent-Hopkins stopped. Rebound, Hyman trying to bank it off Montembeault. Draisaitl gives it up. One-timer, Bouchard deflected. Montembeault still doesn't have it frozen, now covers in the blue paint. As finally, the penalty will be called, essentially a 3-minute power play for Edmonton, as they had 6-on-5 there. They'll have 5-on-4 when we come back. Anderson, 2 minutes officially for hooking at 8:56 of this first period. Edmonton having killed off a penalty already will now try to capitalize on the Atco power play, and they'll look to do that when we come back in just a moment with more Fort Dealers NHL hockey live from Montreal.
Enter English, American Mark.
The Oilers Radio Network. Face-off coming right side of Sam Montembeault. The Edmonton Oilers penalty kill has started to come alive. 9 straight kills. The power play has converted in 3 of its last 4 games. Still at a rather pedestrian 17%, but up to 22nd in the league. Draisaitl will take the draw. McDavid and Hyman stacked in the paint. Nugent-Hopkins on the left half boards, and Bouchard stationed at the point. And something you can count on at least twice in seemingly every game is Leon Draisaitl getting chased out of the circle, replaced by McDavid. Against Jake Evans, who won the face-off for Montreal. Matheson from Savard attempts to clear, but it was held in brilliantly by Draisaitl just inside the line, regained and cleared by Yoel Armia. All of a sudden, in his 10th year, including 7 in Montreal. Draisaitl to McDavid, left to right. Oilers looking to break this scoreless tie halfway through the first period, but the puck squirted free in the high slot, and Armia was there to bang it down the ice. Pickard will leave it for Evan Bouchard. Jack Michaels, Bob Staver with you in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Here's McDavid working his way into the offensive zone. Nugent-Hopkins spun down, lost the handle, and Suzuki was able to clear back through the middle. Bouchard back on the puck. Rifles a pass to Nugent-Hopkins, right side. It's Draisaitl. He'll turn, spin it back to Bouchard. High slot McDavid, saucered back to Bouchard. McDavid left circle, heading for the net. Loading up, circling, centering. One-timer. Bouchard had it blocked by Suzuki. And that'll force the Oilers back to the blue line. Bouchard ambles his way through the neutral zone, hits the Montreal line, gives it to Draisaitl, carefully worked over to Nugent-Hopkins, and now Bouchard right corner. Steers to Draisaitl. McDavid top of the left circle. 40 seconds left in the hooking minor. Whistled against Josh Anderson. McDavid. Nugent-Hopkins. Drag. Shot off of Montembeault's pads. The Canadiens failed to clear, and Bouchard will dust it off before giving it to Draisaitl. He'll circle high slot. Give it up for Nugent-Hopkins. Top of the right circle. Tried to feather it through. That was deflected. McDavid cross ice, and a good job by Bouchard to hold it in against Dvorak. But the Canadiens have the Oilers boxed out right now. McDavid in front, and Hyman couldn't get there. Canadiens with a chance to clear. Dvorak tosses it back to center. Settled by Bouchard. Guided over to Draisaitl. Top of the right circle. Power play over. McDavid watches Nugent-Hopkins try to wrist one in from the short side. That hit the side of the net, and Suzuki was able to bang it by McDavid and then hit Anderson with a lead pass left wing. Josh Anderson waits for a teammate, beats the puck up a little bit, then able to regain, still tracked by Bouchard, and McDavid still lingering out there after the power play, as is Draisaitl. Meantime, Slafkovsky On the half wall, dug out by McDavid. He needs a change. So does Bouchard, quarterbacking from behind the net. He'll hand off to Stetcher and likely head for the bench. In fact, he motioned to Stetcher, don't give it back to me. I need to get off.
No shots on the power play, Jack. All to the perimeter, all out from the outside. No urgency, put pucks on goal.
Stetcher shoots it in. Even the interior tucks to Hyman didn't have much on them. In other words, you weren't going to get a pounce off the pads. Here's an outlet pass to Kirby Dach. 3-on-2 developing for Edmonton, and then fanning on a one-timer as Gallagher did get a shot away eventually. Save made by Pickard. The rebound slammed off the side of the net by Hudson, who was looking for his first NHL goal. Backhanded up by Jeff Skinner to Troy Stetcher. He's with Corey Perry and gives it to him. Perry left circle. Tried to chip it through Montembeault and a screen, but that ended up wide, and the Canadiens get a clear back to center. Carried back in by Perry. He'll move it to Jeff Skinner, heading for the net with a quick wrist shot. The save made by Montembeault. Skinner got a few shots off the last couple of games, Bob. He's looked to get into more of a shot mentality. So I don't mind him throwing a few out there on Montembeault, even if they're low percentage chances. The Canadiens kill some time, allow a full change to develop. Struble to Savard, up to Cole Caulfield from distance. He shoots wide from the right point. Held in by Jake Evans. Down low to Newhook, a one-time member of the Colorado Avalanche. Won the Stanley Cup with them a couple years back. Here's Jake Evans. Inside to Newhook. Feeding Evans one more time. Bumped off his stick by Kulak, and the Oilers will break out. Derek Ryan looking for Janmark, and he'll fire it in. Montembeault did not make a play on it. Ryan centers, and it was there for an open net. But Connor Brown could not handle that pass, which admittedly had to be hard because there was time running. Brown got checked hard by Heineman. Didn't like it. Trying to bait Heineman into a fight. I'm not sure Heineman wants to take that.
It's not taking that fight.
Connor Brown will snap it in deep. That's recovered by Lane Hutz. Heineman, his first year, played on the Swedish World Junior team a couple years back. You don't run into a customer like Josh Brown, who had 4 fighting majors in his 12 games down in the American Hockey League. And here finds an outlet for Jeff Skinner, who eventually slaps it in. Draisaitl will reluctantly change as well, as Skinner was up with Draisaitl and Podkolzin on that shift. Now back to McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman as Montreal controls behind the net. 6 minutes to go, scoreless in the first period. The shots are 8-3 Edmonton, and now a puck deflected out of play, and we'll have a whistle and a timeout. We're live at the Bell Center in Montreal. The Oilers looking for their 10th win of the year and trying to go 4-0-1 in their last 5. They find themselves in a scoreless tie with the Montreal Canadiens. We're live in Quebec with Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Margaret, stop recording. Pause. Enter it.
Edmonton and Montreal, no score. The shots 10-3 in this first period. The Oilers have had the Canadiens on the ropes, had a power play. For the most part, were stuck out on the perimeter. Couldn't capitalize. 5-on-5, they've been the better club, but where have we heard that before through the first 18 games of this season? A predictable storyline. Montembeault, though, has not had to make a number of 10-bell saves just yet. Brown and Henrique get it in deep. A centering pass left behind by Josh Anderson. He'll scoot it around the boards for Struble. And now the Canadiens with time to break out. Angled up to Gallagher, and he'll spill it back to center. Gallagher, after 3 injury-plagued campaigns in a row, managed 16 goals and 31 points last year. Anderson lost the handle. Kulak could clear up the middle. Janmark with speed over the line. Brown, tough pass for Derek Ryan to try to handle in the left corner.
Put the puck on the net. Oh, man.
Here's Gallagher chipping and charging. Brown wanted an interference call on Travis Dermott, a clean hit. And Janmark back to collect. He's got 5 assists in his last 4 games, does Matthias Janmark. Same amount of points as Nugent Hopkins. Brown will dump it in. and the Canadiens will break it out. Josh Anderson watches as Kirby Dach with a turnover in the neutral zone. Derek Ryan brings it back the other way, and Vasily Podkolzin heading for the net, gliding behind Montembeault, giving it up for Dermott. He'll shoot, and that pinballed wide. Rebound, Josh Brown lost the handle, and the Canadiens now with a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Nick Suzuki in over the line. David Savard back to Suzuki, and just kind of rolled it toward the net. He wanted to drag it to his backhand and go shelf. Here's Kirby Dach, high slot. Wrist shot, easy save made by Pickett. Rebound, Slavkovsky. Hard check by Podkolzin. Rebound held in by Struble a second time against Jeff Skinner, and now Slavkovsky races over. Off to David Savard. High slot, Suzuki. Spins, no one really on him. High slot, he'll move it. One-timer taken, and a save made on Struble from a sharp angle by Pickard. He had a clean look at that one, and now Kirby Dach and Josh Brown become engaged as we have 3:54 remaining in this first period. No score in the hockey game. Montreal with its first, if you want to call it that, flurry of the game. Live from the Bell Center. No score. Edmonton, Montreal, Four Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Believing in yourself takes confidence. At Portage College, 93% of grads say their education gave them the skills and knowledge they needed for their careers. That's the kind of confidence that leads to great results. Learn more at portagecollege.ca.
Over the last decade, the world of work has changed dramatically. It's a change that can cause a disconnect between a company and its employees. But a partnership with Aon can help by making decisions that create a more flexible, engaged, and resilient workforce. Aon's experience and expertise, global understanding, and advanced analytics ensure that every client is better informed and better advised so that they can make better decisions. Whatever the next decade brings, Aon is in the business of better decisions.
Do you have tickets to an upcoming event at Rogers Place that you can't attend? Donate your tickets to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Eagle Builders. Seats for Kids provides unused game tickets for charities, allowing children and families to enjoy hockey at Rogers Place. And for many, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be a part of the Seats for Kids program presented by Eagle Builders, please email edmonton@kidsupfront.com. That's edmonton@kidsupfront.com.
Portage College graduates are incredibly employable. How does Portage know? 99% of employers surveyed said they would hire a Portage grad. Get career ready at Portage College. Learn more by visiting portagecollege.ca.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
It'll be 4-on-4 as Dach and Brown did enough to draw coincidental roughing minors, so they're in the box. Edmonton has scored twice in a 4-on-4 situation and has not given up a goal yet this year. Oilers tied the game against Nashville on Thursday, in fact, on a 4-on-4. So McDavid, Draisaitl, Ekholm, and Bouchard out there, and I guess with that foursome, Bob, it shouldn't surprise us that at times Edmonton can be a very dangerous 4-on-4 team.
Well, they're a pretty good 5-on-5 team, too, as you know. Second best analytics team in the league next to Carolina.
But they're -2 in goal differential. Just hasn't gone in as much, but it started to come a little bit in the last week and a half. And that could be bad news for the rest of the National Hockey League. Oilers right now hold the last wild card spot in the Western Conference. So again, this start not nearly as dire as last year, and the Oilers are unbeaten in regulation in their last 4. Off the draw, Bouchard banks a pass to Draisaitl up the wall. Draisaitl will carry it in deep in the Montreal zone. Fend off 2 Montreal defenders before handing back to Bouchard. McDavid tried to center, and a good read by Lane Hudson that time. He knew that was going to Draisaitl. Jake Evans will clear up to Mike Matheson, and here come the Canadiens right to left. Hudson, whom they love, 20 years of age, but a terrible turnover. McDavid watches as Bouchard makes the steal to Draisaitl. Now McDavid the trailer, back to Draisaitl, one-timer save made by Montembeault. Flashed it back to the middle. Ekholm will dust it off before dishing to Bouchard. Back down low. Draisaitl against Caulfield, just too big for him. Here's McDavid, beautiful spin move on Matheson. Right circle, Draisaitl gives it up and gets it right back from Bouchard with a minute left on this 4-on-4, which feels like an Edmonton power play. Ekholm a shot blocked by Caulfield. And Jake Evans able to regain for Montreal, and Evans is going to hang on to it and allow Edmonton to go ahead and make a change.
It's going to be interesting to see if Gooley returns to this game. Looked like he blocked that shot off of his wrist, and he went off immediately. He was not out there in that last pairing 4v4.
Long toss by Matheson up the left-hand side. Suzuki, a snap shot that was fought off by Pickard. Got enough of that puck to deflect it wide. Nugent-Hopkins back to Kulak. And if Gooley is lost for any length of time, that's significant. I mean, he qualifies as a veteran on this Montreal back end. Arbor Xhekaj off a steal, gives it up to Suzuki. Tough angle, and Pickard read it beautifully. Stopped that shot from the left circle. Held in by Newhook, though. Suzuki gives it back to Newhook. Well defended by Kulak, and now Hyman will carry it out of the zone. He got belted up high by Xhekaj. That was a high hit at live speed. I didn't quite see whether it got underneath the chin.
Brown's on the ice here. We'll see if he goes right after Xhekaj.
That was a high hit.
Brown's chirping Xhekaj as we speak as he goes off the ice.
Here's Henry. Xhekaj's season ended a couple of years ago prematurely when he was injured in a fight with Vinny Desharnais. Here's Jaden Struble. A beautiful steal on a move by Janmark, cleaned up, however, by Lane Hudson. Tell you what, Hudson makes some mistakes, but he's active. Janmark cross ice, and that was deflected away by Dvorak a second time and into the paint. And a quick shot and a goal for Brown will be waved off. Henrique tried to keep that alive, but Montembeault, the beneficiary of a relatively quick whistle, and by the time Brown had poked it home, it was a good second and a half after the whistle had sounded. Let's see what the call is.
There's no goal on the play. The Montreal goaltender had it frozen and it was poke free.
Yeah, that was, I guess you have to announce it, but that was
pretty
automatic. And a face-off coming to the left side of Montembeault. I did think it was a quick whistle. Got a second look at that Xhekaj hit. Bob, what'd you think?
I think Xhekaj is going to have a Josh Brown conversation. Now, Xhekaj, right now, they're down to 5 deep because they don't have Caden Gooley.
Illegal hit or relatively clean? So kind of rode up the sternum.
Yeah, certainly not a penalty 10 years ago.
Face-off win for Kandata against
Just a hard, tough play.
Yep, Xhekaj up the right-hand side, and he's a hard, tough player, especially for a guy that was working in Costco during the pandemic. And he's really carved out a nice career for himself. This is third season in Montreal. Dump in by Edmonton, played by Montembeault with a minute to go. It's Yoel Armia. We're still scoreless, first period. Montreal in the red with the blue pants and white numerals. Edmonton in the white sweaters, playing on the road this year, and Corey Perry was high-sticked. And in the final minute of the period, that's what you don't want to do if you're Montreal. You've ducked your way out of a power play situation, a 4-on-4 where the Oilers were far more dangerous, and now Armia takes a 2-minute high-sticking minor. And Edmonton a chance to really seize the game's momentum here.
Well, it starts with a face-off win. Draisaitl got waved out of the circle. They lost the draw. Jake Evans, who's a pending UFA, Jack. You know, the Canadiens are a 30th place team. If they can't work their way back in the mix, somebody might look him for, really, he's a fourth-line right-shot center. Maybe a third-line center. Certainly, right now, playing second-line center because Doc's had some challenges returning from that massive surgery.
They're trying to get him going, playing with offensive players and take the heat off him.
But Evans is a decent face-off man.
Beaten cleanly by Draisaitl, and Bouchard will send it over to Nugent-Hopkins. Tried to thread it through to McDavid. That was broken up. Angled off the boards to Bouchard. Nugent-Hopkins loads, side of the net. Hyman, he was low-bridged, fell down in a heap. The puck trapped underneath his backside for a moment. Players raking at it, chiseling it free. Finally tossed into the corner by David Savard. Here's Draisaitl trying to snap it through. That caromed off a skate. McDavid will have to corral with 17 seconds. He's still got time. Left to right over the line. Tried to get around Savard and did. Circles the net. Draisaitl. Bouchard faked the one-timer. Now gets it back and fires high and wide to the glove side. Rebound Draisaitl. Cross ice right on the tape. And McDavid hesitated and then a pass behind. Here's a blast by Bouchard at the horn. That's held by Montembeault. And we will have a scoreless first period. The Oilers, interestingly enough, I mean, they're tied for the league lead when it comes to getting goals in the first 2 minutes. They've got 4, but then they score only 5 more the rest of the period. They're second to last in the league when it comes to actual goals scored. And Bob, that's what we've talked about all year. And this is game 19 now. The Oilers' domination 5-on-5 still has not translated to the kind of goal scoring production that I think you and I were expecting coming into this season.
I don't think there's any question about that. Now, did we have to abridge the scoring projections once they lost a couple players on an double RFA offer sheet? Just, sometimes speed creates some opportunities. Anyhow, the bottom line here is they played better the last 15 games, but they got to find their game here. And they got to capitalize early on the power play when they get it in the second period.
Shots are 13-8 in the opening 20 minutes in favor of Edmonton. And remember, there's still significant power play time coming up. 1:14 left in the penalty to Yoel Armia. In a moment, we'll chat with Brett Kulak, who came into this game, curiously enough, tied for 4th in the league with 4 goals. And Brett, what are the challenges that you and the rest of the D-Corps face when it is 7 defensemen? I know it's not new for you, but is it still present a bit of a challenge rhythm-wise?
Yeah, I think so for sure. Like you say, we got some experience here, most of us, I think, throughout our careers. At some point or another, you play 7D, so you kind of know what to expect coming into it, but no one really loves it, that's for sure. I'm kind of with a different partner a lot of the time, but you know what? You take it as it is, and hopefully it doesn't last too long. And I thought we had a good first period there.
Brett, Darnell Nurse is a huge part of this hockey club. How does it change at all? You're going to be over 20 minutes today, but how does it change for you personally?
Yeah, I think it's just not coming into it thinking I need to fill his shoes, do something, go out of character for me. Just put in solid shifts and do my job out there. And, you can't replace Nursey, that's for sure. He plays big minutes. He does a heck of a job for us out there. And so I think, everyone's got to chip in, elevate your game a little bit.
I know it was one of your 2 career highlights, but you have to feel somewhat cheated that you didn't have the 21,000 people behind you back in 2021. This is a special building.
Yeah, some really good memories here for sure. And yeah, memories that'll last a lifetime, no doubt. Some peaks of my hockey career so far, and it always feels nice coming back here.
Thank you, Brett.
Okay, thanks, guys.
That's Brett Kulak of the Edmonton Oilers, who find themselves in a scoreless tie through 20 minutes as we head for the second period. Again, Edmonton will have a fresh sheet of ice and a power play to start period 2. Anything the Canadiens did offensively that the Oilers need to be concerned about?
Counter-strike and stretch the ice. That's one of the things they did. They tried to catch. They were in a very passive forecheck, trying to neutralize Edmonton's transition game, which, by the way, was pretty good against Toronto. But one of the things that's altered this game here is Caden Gooley blocking that shot, because their plan was to have 2 guys that can really skate, Matheson and Gooley, against Connor McDavid. They don't have them. They're down to 5 defensemen. The big hit by Jackeye.
Have they announced he's gone for the game?
Well, I mean, he's not been back since he blocked the shot. He may return in the second, right. But usually Jackeye comes, as you know, he comes back. I mean, he missed the last 10 minutes of the period. Jackeye with a huge hit on Hyman. I don't think Arbor Jackeye can take the fight against Josh Brown. Brown was talking to him. I don't think he can take that fight if they don't have Gooley in the lineup. Something to watch here in period 2.
Because, of course, they dress the standard 6. They don't have the Oilers had the luxury, if you want to call it that, considering a top 3 defenseman went down the other night in Toronto in that 3-2 overtime loss. Montreal coming off its 6th consecutive win over Columbus, 5-1 on Saturday. So you've got the Oilers and the Canadiens. Full collision mode tonight. Nothing has been settled through 20 minutes. There's no score in the hockey game. They've asked him down deep by Leon Draisaitl, who has 7 goals and 16 points in his last 9 against Montreal. He scored a goal in 4 straight against the Canadiens. Nearly a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Broken up, though, by Bouchard in the first attempted clear, but the second one is successfully managed by Matheson, and the Oilers have to drift back into their own zone. 30 seconds gone by second period. Bouchard hits a cutting McDavid. In over the line. Wristed around the boards. Draisaitl lifted the stick of Dvorak to try to wrestle possession away and could not maintain. Puck travels the length of the ice. Pickard will leave it for Bouchard, and time for one last rush for the Oilers. 20 seconds to go on the man advantage. McDavid hits Nugent Hopkins across the line, right to left. Bouchard to Draisaitl, top of the right circle. McDavid coming off the goal line. One-timer Bouchard, and that was blockered into the corner by Sam Montembeault. Here's Nugent-Hopkins loading up. Tried to center, and that was deflected. Draisaitl back to Nugent-Hopkins. High slot, Bouchard. 2 seconds. Nugent-Hopkins fires another shot that's blocked by Caden Gooley, and here come the Canadiens, now back to full strength. Jake Evans will toss it in, and it's grabbed by Bouchard, then turned right back over to Evans. He didn't realize that Evans was lurking there, so he tried to make a play to the middle, stolen away by Adam Henrique, and it's wristed down deep for the Edmonton Oilers. Lane Hudson from Montreal reverses to Cole Caulfield. 28 goals, 65 points, both career highs last year for Caulfield. They feel like his ceiling is far greater than that, though, and now a deflected puck ends up out of play in the in the Edmonton zone. So we'll drop it right at that Montreal Bell center ice logo. I think one of the most famous insignias in professional sports, is it not?
100%.
Face-off win for Adam Henrique. Troy Stecher across to Matthias Ekholm. Again, the Oilers going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight. Victor Arvidsson missing a 3rd straight game. Troy Stecher tries the right-hand side. Connor Brown lost the handle, and here's Caulfield wiring one wide off the high blocker. And that's what you're talking about, Bob. If you give them something, they will look to counter-strike immediately. Driving down the left-hand side is Connor Brown against Lane Hudson. Puck pinned along the end boards. Hudson had it, lost it. Grabbed by Struble, and he'll knock it off the boards. Ekholm turned it over at the Montreal blue line. Lane Hudson threw it across. Caulfield back to the point, fired toward the net, and then ended up going high, clattering off the glass. Struble had it, lost it. Henrique thought he had Janmark sneaking behind for a breakaway. It was broken up. Connor Brown able to reset for Edmonton. Matthias Ekholm drives down the left wing, pulls up, waits for a teammate, flicks it into the corner. Savard first on it for Montreal. Eventually sent over to Struble. He'll flip it ahead for Slavkovsky. It's been quiet thus far tonight. Tries to nudge it ahead for Suzuki. That was batted down by Derek Ryan. Slavkovsky then got absolutely belted, filled in by Emberson. We saw that a lot on Saturday night. Emberson has been extremely physical the last couple of weeks, Bob, and it's drawn the attention of the coaches. Another shot from a point, not much on it from Savard. The rebound, Slavkovsky, and he didn't plant his feet there, Bob. He was kind of doing a drive-by, and it was an easy save for Pickard, and the Oilers get it in deep. I think later in his career, you'll see him stop on that puck and really bear down on that chance. Josh Brown, a collision with Kirby Dach at center, and those two went at one another a little bit in the first period. The Canadiens got it in deep, but winning a battle behind the net, Janmark, lead pass Leon Draisaitl. Tried to nudge it back to him, stolen by Matheson. Breakaway coming, wrist shot wired wide. Oh, what a chance for Condotta, and he missed the net. Heineman, wrist shot, and he missed the net. And then nudged back in front by Condotta. Lucas Condotta with 2 goals to his credit in his prior 9 NHL games. 27-year-old, played 4 full years at UMass Lowell, as Bob mentioned. A lot of guys with an NCAA influence on this team. Mike Matheson tries to hold the zone, forced out by Draisaitl.
Well, that started from Leon Draisaitl putting the puck in a bad spot, and the Oilers were in peril there for a solid 30 seconds.
Armia dumps it in, quickly advanced by Josh Brown up the right-hand side, and we've got action here as Nugent-Hopkins takes it deep into the offensive zone. Tracked by Hudson. Threw it behind the net. I think Hudson will draw a slashing call. He got his stick on in the wrist of Nugent-Hopkins, and that's an automatic time. 4:41. This is going to be Edmonton's 3rd power play of the night.
Montreal penalty number 48. 2 minutes for hooking.
Well, at some point here, you got to be less deselective. Just put it to the net. And, well, he's got the stick in there, water skiing. That's a penalty.
Hooking the call.
But you know there's going to be one coming the other way. So you got to make it count here. Leon's got a skate issue. They're looking at it right now.
They're buying just enough time where head equipment manager Jeff Lang, who just recently celebrated his 1,500th game behind the bench, got in the mix there, got Draisaitl back to form, and he's out there between Nugent-Hopkins and then Hyman and McDavid stacked in the paint with Bouchard up top. Draisaitl wins the faceoff, back to Bouchard, left point. To Nugent-Hopkins, side of the net, McDavid. Rolls up behind, hits Nugent-Hopkins, open, a shot, and a blocker save made by Montembeault, and that sails out of play. That's not a bad look for Nugent-Hopkins.
Great shot.
He did fire at high blocker. That's a good save.
Yeah, he may have gotten a piece of the crossbar too, Jack, on that shot. So Nuge needs one. I think that's
well, he's got one goal all season, and the Oilers are now playing game 19. Let's see if that puck grazed the bar as well. Yeah, it did. Good read, Bob. Draisaitl, the face-off against Jake Evans. Off the draw, McDavid, quick shot, Hyman denied by Montembeault, and the rebound slid through McDavid, a hard rim. And Montreal see it go into the Edmonton bench. Now they're going to discuss where the faceoff is held. I think it'll come outside the line.
It's unreal. Like, they just can't. Even there, you get a lucky break off a faceoff, and you got two guys alone with the goalie in front. He's down and out, and you can't pick up the loose change on a Hyman attempt.
And Hyman's been heating up. 3 goals, 7 points in his last 8, but can't bury it there, and the rebound eluded McDavid. Draisaitl off the face-off. Dvorak kicked it over to Mike Matheson, and he'll shoot it down the ice, and the Oilers have to drip back into their own end. Still 90 seconds to go on this Atco power play. Atco Energy, your trusted Alberta retailer. Here's Bouchard, right to left with a handoff to McDavid. Hits the line, Nugent-Hopkins. Back to Bouchard. Nugent-Hopkins fired across. Draisaitl waiting on the right half boards. Peers inside, nothing's there. Back to Bouchard. Nugent-Hopkins. Bouchard. Draisaitl.
Way too passive.
McDavid, right corner, heads for the net. McDavid, hard drive. Tipped away by Matheson. Wound up in the corner, Draisaitl. Not much on it, but held in nevertheless by Bouchard. Draisaitl hits McDavid down the seam and taken away. Poke check by Dvorak and cleared by Anderson. And that'll do it. Nugent-Hopkins and Hyman come off. McDavid and Draisaitl stay out there. Bouchard waiting as Brett Kulak has come onto the ice. Now Draisaitl and McDavid are going to change. Second unit out there. Henrique, Perry, and Jeff Skinner. Arbor Jackeye fails to clear. Kulak down low in the corner. Perry feeds the point. One-timer coming at Coleman. That stayed out. Rebound, Corey Perry. He also was on that Montreal club that lost the 21 final to Tampa. Gives it up for Jeff Skinner. Kulak, Ekholm, Jeff Skinner. Back to Ekholm off his skate. And that's going to be cleared out by Jackeye, and a chance for Jake Evans. Interestingly enough, kind of backed off on it and just handed to Jackeye. I thought a net drive was there for him, Bob, if he wanted it. Ekholm up to Corey Perry, and he'll send it back in. Jackeye collects. Montreal has killed off 3 Edmonton power plays tonight. And as a result, the game remains scoreless. A poor pass from Jackeye. Even if Slafkovsky had managed a clean touch on that, it would have been icing. 13 minutes to go in the second period, and Edmonton will get an ozone draw. The shot's 16-9. Bob, what do you make of Edmonton's urgency tonight through about 27 minutes?
Don't like the way they're playing at all. Don't like the power play. And we're at the stage where something's got to change on the power play. Maybe it's got to be personnel.
Derek Ryan beaten off the face-off by Suzuki. Caden Gooley up the left wing for Slafkovsky. Cross ice. Suzuki will drop it behind the Oiler defense. Stetcher battling. Forces it free for Derek Ryan. Shoveled up the left-hand side. Matthias Janmark. Now Emberson jumps up on the play against Hudson. Trying to burrow his way through. It's not there. Trickles free. Janmark around the boards. Connor Brown steps up. Drops. Emberson a shot. That was blocked. Quickly flipped in front. That's taken away by Kirby Dach. He'll chip inside the Edmonton line. Stetcher with a whack at it. And that ends up out of play with 12:22 to go in this second period. No score in the hockey game. Edmonton 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. And as a result at the Bell Center, we've settled nothing as we approach the midway point of the contest. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Looking for custom flags, banners, or canopy tents? Aurora Flags and Banners has a dedicated team to provide you with custom solutions and quality products.
50 is back. Play now to be entered to win a Ford Bronco, a $1,000 red tag travel voucher, and multiple cash prizes. Right now, the jackpot's sitting at $414,000, supporting the Alberta Cancer Foundation. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Nearly midway through this game, and there's no score. Edmonton, Montreal, face-off win for Derek Ryan. Jeff Skinner to Travis Dermott up the right-hand side, and Ryan eventually able to slug it down low. Oilers suffered their first blemish when scoring 3 goals in a game on Saturday in that 4-3 loss to Toronto in overtime. First time all year the Oilers had gotten 3 and lost. Up the right-hand side, Jake Evans. Lead pass left wing, Cole Caulfield. Montreal looking to break through because they haven't won when they don't get the first goal yet this year. Cole Caulfield shovels it back in the offensive zone. Here's a shot by Hudson. Juicy rebound issued by Pickard, but a save made nonetheless on the rebound against Newhook down low, and it's cleared out. Savard at center. Rink wide to Newhook, and then when he tried to shoot it in, it went off Brown's stick and sailed out of play. I'm not sure Pickard picked that shot up until it was right on him. It might have been screened.
I think we're at the stage here, Jack, where we need to see a change on the Oilers' power play. Evan Bouchard's a real good player. He's going to be an excellent offensive defenseman for a long time, but he's fighting it a little bit. And one thing about Matthias Ekholm, there's urgency in his game when he's on the ice. He puts pucks to the net. He makes quick decisions. The Oilers are way too passive. They're becoming far too predictable. And it's part of the reason why. And you know what? Everybody's had a chance to watch their power play over the playoffs the last 3 years. Some teams have figured it out. And I wonder whether or not you contemplate making a couple changes with it.
Face off to Pickard's right-hand side. Draw won by Connor Brown. Rolled up the left wing boards and cleared by Matthias Janmark. Gathered by Struble in his own zone. Played up. Heineman from Jack Guy. Long distance effort from Armia. No chance. Deflected into the corner. Pendata finishes his check and now battles in the corner with Heineman, who works it free for Jaden Struble. Checked immediately by Connor Brown. He put it behind the net, and Janmark will scramble over to make a play on it. Heineman now wrapped up with Troy Stetcher, eventually taken and centered for Armia. Broken up, and Janmark will lay it off for Connor Brown. The Oilers crisscross across the line. Jaden Struble checked against the boards. You've got a loose puck in the corner. Struble and Jackeye trying to work this free. Janmark in the vicinity. Finally played up on the glass. I thought that hit the netting. They're going to let it go. And Yoel Armia comes up ice. I thought I saw the netting wobble.
It did.
Here's Ekholm back in his own zone for Edmonton. Streaking down the right-hand side. He'll bank it off the wall. Flipped in by Nugent Hopkins. Montembeault to handle that puck. Put it up on the glass. McDavid could not hold the zone. Ekholm did. Deflected, and this one does crawl over the plexi into about the third row here at the Bell Center, which holds more than 21,000 for National Hockey League games. Cited the draft a couple years ago, and also the draft in 2009.
Mark recording.
Oilers selected Magnus
Current time 0
Bjork in
hours
the
35
first
minutes.
round. 10:02
Enter
to
English
play.
American
Second
Samoa.
period,
Current
no
time 0
score.
hours 36 minutes.
Face off. Montembeault's left. Off the draw. Won by Nick Suzuki. Nugent Hopkins there to deflect. Caden Goulia clear back through center. And it's Suzuki. Left wing, Slavkovsky. His shot. And that was deflected high up on the glass. Held in by Matheson. Tried to cut inside, and Nugent Hopkins denied that entry. But the Canadiens able to maintain the offensive zone. Goulia swung it down low for Kirby Dach. So effective in that 2020 play-in series for the Chicago Blackhawks. But here is pass to Suzuki, broken up, and the Oilers come the other way. Zach Hyman will dump it in. He's with Nugent Hopkins and McDavid. Canadiens stagger their way out of their zone. Held in and ultimately shot in by Nick Suzuki. Bob was talking about Montreal has played a couple of these type of games this year. Lost 3-0 earlier this week to Minnesota, but beat Toronto in the season opener 1-0, and now an offside whistled against Zach Hyman. And right now we've got a scoreless hockey game. Edmonton has outshot Montreal 16-10, but right now the Canadiens, I think, are in the midst of perhaps lulling Edmonton into a bit of quiet hockey. That's been the case for the last 3 or 4 minutes since Edmonton's last failed power play. The Oilers 0 for 3 with a man advantage tonight. We'll come back with more live second period play-by-play. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Our people, our team. It's what business owners almost always say is their most important resource. But strong businesses don't just find great people. They make sure their teams stay healthy, engaged, and performing at their best. A benefits plan from Alberta Blue Cross is more than just drug and dental. They support the whole person with flexible coverage levels that fit the size and circumstance of your business. Find a plan that gets results at ab.bluecross.ca.
When was the last time your electricity and natural gas provider made you feel like this? Low rates, no strings attached, year-round perks, and local energy experts who always have your back with Encore by Epcor. Find that carefree energy feeling at encore.epcor.com/carefree.
Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
Looking for top-notch dry cleaning? Riverbend Cleaners in Edmonton have been family-owned for over 40 years. They're experts in tailoring, wedding gown cleaning, and leather and suede care. From coveralls to curtains to jeans and jerseys, they do it all. Enjoy the convenience of free pickup and delivery as well as corporate discounts. Trust Riverbend Cleaners for quality service that's been a local favorite for decades. Visit them at 560 Riverbend Square or call 780-988-6685. Riverbend Cleaners, where experience meets exceptional care.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you live from Montreal. No score, mid-second period. Bob, it's been evident through 31 minutes the Oilers don't have it. What can they do to grind this one out?
Put pucks to the net, Jack. Starts there.
Face-off won by Draisaitl, shot in by Josh Brown. His first game as an Oiler, put it behind the net for Corey Perry. A backhander short side and a save made by Montembeault. Here's Draisaitl on the rebound. Snapped it out to Brett Kulak. Threw it across, Ty Emberson. Draisaitl helped usher that along to Corey Perry, who turns and angles a pass back to Kulak. A drive and a save made by Sam Montembeault, and he'll squeeze that with 8:34 to go in the second period. Montembeault came in with a sub-900 save percentage, a record of 5-8-1 on the year.
He had the one great start to start the year, then it's been tough going since then. But he's been better than the other guy.
And if you talk to Montreal, they'll tell you Montembeault faces 7 or 8 terrific chances a period. Now, tonight I would not say is one of those games. Montreal has given Edmonton some looks, but not 7 or 8 a period. The other guy Bob's referring to is Cade Primo. He's got a save percentage of .845 in his 4 appearances. Off the draw, Adam Henrique in the corner. Caulfield is able to dig that out and clear up the right-hand side. Josh Brown back in his own zone. Canadiens have 2 goalies, NCAA products that they're working on. Here's a centering pass and a chance. But Caulfield had it blocked. And in position, Travis Dermott, his second key block of the night. Jeff Skinner steal, and the Oilers will break out. Skinner playing with Henrique and Brown as he dumps it in. And an attempted clear by Newhook is negated by Jeff Skinner. Shoveled down low by Henrique. Back behind the net, Skinner pounces on it. Could not get a clean shot away, and the Canadiens able to get it clear. Caulfield to Newhook, and he'll snap it down deep. Getting a piece of it was Calvin Pickard. Tried to roll it in front to Jake Evans. Taken away by Skinner. Now, Connor McDavid, left wing drop pass. Ekholm in over the line. You've got turning and giving is Nugent Hopkins, and a clean look for Montembeault as he catches Bouchard's changeup cleanly with 7:27 to play in the second period, and Bouchard gesticulating as though he expected a screen, or maybe he wanted to keep that puck a little bit lower.
Yeah. Well, the guy that had the better shot opportunity there was Ekholm. but he was ambling on his offside. It was a difficult pickup for him to one-time it.
Nugent-Hopkins will take the draw. McDavid and Hyman in the paint. Ekholm and Bouchard defensively. 7.5 to go, second period. Oilers and the Canadiens, a scoreless tie. The shots are 18-10 Edmonton. Nugent-Hopkins won the draw. Canadiens pick it up, and it's lifted safely back through the middle by Kirby Dach. Turned over to Matheson by Ekholm. Wristed down deep by Caden Gooley. Ekholm trying to seal the wall against Kirby Dach. Now Suzuki, a centering pass, and stolen by McDavid, who came all the way down low above the blue paint to take one away from Slavkovsky. Bouchard up the right-hand side. Effortless pass to Ekholm, dropped it off. Hyman, a snapshot off the pads of Montembeault. That was a good save. And Suzuki able to clear back through center. Slavkovsky will hammer it back in. Tipped away from Suzuki, held in by Matheson on his backhand. He'll take it behind the net, pursued by Bouchard, and now Hyman. Instead, it's Caden Gooley. Tried to go down low with it for Slavkovsky, reaching out on a puck coming off the end boards was Pickard to put that puck to rest. 6.5 minutes to play in this second period, and it's still no score in Montreal. Oilers scratched out, 2-1 last year in this building.
That was win number 10. Was it 9 or 10?
10 of 16. Right. 16 in a row, yep.
Had they won in Detroit before that game? And then, Nurse scored in overtime, I think, in Detroit.
Nurse scored in OT, and then Bouchard here at the Bell Center. Remember, Nurse gave it the 2 arm pumps. By the way, in case you missed some of the coverage from earlier tonight, Darnell Nurse, in Chris Knobloch's words, expected to be out 5 to 10 days. Draisaitl against Jake Evans. And my guess is, Bob, it may actually be longer than that because, of course, the Oilers then have that 5-day break after their game on Saturday against the New York Rangers. So maybe just to err on the safe side, you give them a full 2 weeks off, and that's what would transpire if, in fact, that's the route they go. Well, Darnell, I'm sure he'll tell you if he passes the test, he'll want to play. Draisaitl off the draw, hits Podkolzin. Return to Draisaitl on the right side. A centering pass, deflected away. Good defensive play by Jake Evans, as Bob said. Solid two-way player. Corey Perry did well to hold the zone off to Vasily Podkolzin. Maybe his first goal in nearly 2 years will help break this scoreless logjam. But not here, as Montreal manages a clear inside the Oiler blue line. Josh Brown, Draisaitl to Podkolzin, and again back to Draisaitl. He'll take it hard behind the Canadiens' net. Checked off the puck by Condotta, and it's reversed to David Savard. Montreal will reset while Edmonton changes it up. Lane Hudson fires it in, and now he'll change for the Canadiens. Long change in this second period, of course. Backhanded out by Janmark on a Montreal Canadiens dump in. And with 5.5 to go, Stetcher took a big hit from Condotta. Got it in deep. No icing call. Struble looking for Armia. He's got it. On his backhand, he'll quickly swing it ahead for Heineman. And carefully backhanded in by Arbor Jacki. Behind the net, you've got an opening for Condotta. Didn't do much with the puck. Heineman lost his stick, and here comes Janmark. Maybe a 3-on-2. Stetcher tried to give it back to Janmark, but that was broken up, and the Canadiens are back on the puck with Jaden Struble under control. Product of Northeastern University, grew up in tiny Rhode Island.
They kept the wrong D from Northeastern. It's a guy playing in New Jersey now.
Kovacevic?
He's a pretty good D-man. I don't know. Pretty sure he's from Northeastern as well.
You don't like Struble?
I like Kovacevic more.
Sent in by McDavid off the rush. Henrique shot, and a save made by Montembeault up in that high blocker region. Cleared by the Canadiens and tossed back in by Ekholm. Montembeault was unable to get to it. Brown is there. McDavid a bit of a drive-by, and it's cleared by Josh Anderson. Ekholm over to Bouchard, and he fumbled it away. Here comes Christian Dvorak, gliding behind the Edmonton net, looking for a teammate. Coming wrist shot. Anderson had it blocked. Rebound. It's Evans. Nowhere to go with it. Caden Gooley. Punched forward by Anderson to Brendan Gallagher. Couple of 30-goal seasons on his resume. Little spin move, backhand across. Dvorak chipped it in front, and the Canadiens can't get a shot away. Here comes McDavid back through the neutral zone. Hands to Connor Brown. Puts the brakes on, gives it to his former junior teammate. McDavid gave it away. Steal by Gallagher. Matheson gave it back to Gallagher. He'll dump it in as both Gallagher and McDavid appear near the end of their shifts. McDavid, exhausted, will come off with 3.5 to go. In the second period, no score in the hockey game. Kulak to Nugent Hopkins. Play is ruled onside. Kulak will wind it around. Now you've got Draisaitl playing with Nugent Hopkins as Chris Knobloch looks for a combination that will wake the Oilers out of this reverie. Yes, they've outplayed Montreal, but still some urgency needs to be had. Here's Nick Suzuki rolling in for the Canadiens, who've been outshot 21-10 tonight, slapped wide by Kirby Dach. And that caroms off the corner boards, and now Zach Hyman skating hard. Down the right-hand side, Draisaitl, top of the circle, gets it back to Hyman, a shot. And that flew wide of Montembeault. Stetcher looking to get the Oilers on the board. Hyman behind the net. Drop pass for Draisaitl. Tried to feather it through. Intercepted and cleared by Slavkovsky. He'll get it back from Suzuki and take it in across the Edmonton blue line. Rides Emberson into the boards. Draisaitl chiseled it free. Stetcher up the boards. Not enough on it. Held in by Struble, who spins, tried to center, and that was broken up by Draisaitl. And then it ping-ponged around for a moment before being retrieved by Jake Evans. Stetcher stayed strong on his stick and finally pitchforked out of there by Draisaitl. Fielded by Jackeye, the puck trickled off Struble's stick, and now Corey Perry on him. 2:15 to go. Jackeye, lead pass. Caulfield, play is onside. Jake Evans lost the handle as he came over the line. Edmonton gave it right back. Kulak turned it over at center. Snapped in by Jackeye. Around the boards, Kulak able to reverse to Josh Brown. Comes up with a puck, tried to give it back to Kulak. That's a turnover. And Montreal on the puck. Newhook to Matheson. Up top, Caden Gooley let a shot fly that was blocked by Corey Perry. Rebound, blasted by Matheson. Blocked shot, made successfully by Podkolzin. Newhook won a battle, sets up Gooley. Wrist shot and save, Calvin Pickard. First time he's actually seen a puck in a while. That's just the third shot for Montreal in this period. But despite that, it remains a scoreless tie. The Oilers a +10 on the shot clock, but nothing's been settled on the scoreboard through nearly 38.5 minutes. 1:39 to go, period 2. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Sobeys and Safeway Liquor are stocked with spirits, wine, and beer for all your get-togethers. So, whether you're celebrating the holiday season or hockey season, check out Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. You know what I'm a fan of? Alberta. The wide open spaces, the highways and byways, and a rugged, beautiful terrain that I'm proud to call home. Maybe that's why I'm also a fan of my Ford F-150. It's tough, capable, and smart, which makes it a natural fit for roads like these. So if it's a new truck you're looking for, look no further than the truck Albertans love to drive, F-150. Head into your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PB sent you.
Help turn off hesitation, turn off doubt, turn off fears. The YMCA is a charity that helps people turn off whatever's holding them back so they can let their potential shine. With your support, you can help us turn on confidence, connections, and possibilities. Whether it's supporting families, building life skills, or fostering well-being, the YMCA offers a wide range of programs that empower people to shine their brightest. Visit our website to see how you can help today.
Sobeys and Safeway Liquor are stocked with spirits, wine, and beer for all your get-togethers. So, whether you're celebrating the holiday season or hockey season, check out Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Minute 39 to go in the second period. Edmonton and Montreal, no score at the Bell Center. Oilers front end of a back-to-back. They'll play Ottawa tomorrow. Bob and I will have it for you. 5 o'clock drive time face-off right here on 880 CHED and the Oilers Radio Network. TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and the Radio Player Canada app. Off the draw, whistling wrister coming from Gooley. That bounded off Pickard and brought the other way by Derek Ryan. Gooley has matched Montreal's shot total in the last 10 seconds for the first 18 minutes of this period. Slavkovsky brings it the other way, and McDavid ties him up and rides him into the corner. Skinner got it to Ekholm, flipped out by McDavid. The puck settles at center, and it's Connor Brown off to Evan Bouchard. Wound around the boards. McDavid put it behind the net. Here's Connor Brown peering inside. Out to Ekholm. Fired across. Bouchard. Now McDavid centering pass. Connor Brown couldn't get there. Jeff Skinner, Brown, and McDavid on the ice. Here's McDavid, top of the right circle. Circling against Kirby Dach. Less than a minute to go. Second period, no score. Ekholm deep in the left circle. Has to reverse. Drift up top for Bouchard. Poke checked away. And here come the Canadiens. Slafkovsky to Nick Suzuki. In over the line. Suzuki comes in 7 goals, 18 points. Caulfield, the team leader with 12 goals. Here's a shot redirected in front. Gallagher had his stick down. Matheson threw it toward the net, and Gallagher rewarded him. Montreal breaks through first. 1-0 for the Canadiens. Time of the goal, 19:30 in the second period. And those are the hands that Brendan Gallagher has shown often in his 13-year career.
Yeah, he's a 2-time 30-goal scorer and a 4-time 20-goal scorer. But they put it to the net. They didn't sit there and stay on the perimeter and make 19 passes and not put pucks on the goal. And they've got themselves a 1-0 lead. What's their record when they lead? Get the first goal in a game, Jack?
6-2 as compared to 0-8-2 without that first goal. So it's pivotal for Montreal, at least. For Edmonton, it's not as big of a deal. They're a relatively respectable 4-6 when the opposition gets the first goal. Gallagher is 8th from Matheson at 19:30 of the first period. Gallagher, a high slot tip. I might have misspoke there, second period. And they're putting a half second back on the clock. So technically this is going to move to 19:29 of the second period. Gallagher, his 8th from Matheson. Off the draw, Josh Anderson. Heading for the net, defended by Stetcher. Angles off the boards, fired. Here's Thornton, one-timer, and Pickard, a tremendous stop, or Gallagher would have had his second goal in 15 seconds. And that may be the save that keeps Edmonton's hopes alive in this hockey game. I'm not saying they could have rallied from 2-0 down, but it would have been deflating. The Canadiens dump it back in. Draisaitl will protect, and now we've reached the end of the period. The Canadiens had just 2 shots in the first 18 minutes of that second period, but Matheson with a drive from the point that's deflected home by Gallagher, and as a result, it's Montreal that will take a 1-0 lead in the dressing room. And here's more numbers for you, Bob. When the Canadiens trail after 2 periods, they're 0-8. When they lead after 2 periods, they're 6-0. Edmonton's going to have to break through.
Yep. Well, that does not bode well for the Oilers. But
that's a big save by Pickard on Gallagher there, though.
It is, but no urgency from this team. On the power play, you have 3 power play looks. You had one that went halfway through the end of the first into the early second period. No urgency at all. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting it to change. Well, guess what? Time for a change, because right now...
Are you talking the power play, Bob?
Yes, I'm talking Bouchard off and Ekholm on the power play. You start there, and if you have to move another, if you have to swing another piece off that power play, maybe you do. It should be a privilege to play the power play. You got to be sharp. You got to be on it. And right now, there's no urgency. And there's a defenseman that likes to play the game under control, but he's not going. He's not feeling it. He's not getting pucks through. They're not finding him at the right times. When Ekholm comes on the power play like he did against Vancouver, puts it right to net, boom, there's chances there. Take a look at how the Canadiens scored. 30 seconds left in the period. Matheson fires one towards the goal. Gallagher gets a stick on it.
Well, that's the key. Got to be in the slot to get a stick on it. That was a beautiful deflection.
This is the 30th place team in the league that you're playing with, the worst defensive team, and you don't have a goal through 2 periods. You're supposed to be a top offensive team, and I know, hasn't
been there yet for the first 18 games.
No, it hasn't. No, it has not been there for the first 18 games, and you wonder whether or not just maybe a little too many. You can sit there. They have been playing quicker.
And the 5-on-5, as you pointed out earlier, Bob, the 5-on-5 metrics speaking looks terrific.
Yes,
hasn't translated,
but their special teams. Not you know what? I mean, they're dead last in the PK, and they're in the 20s in the power play, and they're going to drop after this game unless they get another chance here. Very disappointing performance from Edmonton through 40 minutes, especially given the fact that they got a 3-1 power play advantage in this game.
Well, that's the key. It's through 40 minutes. Twice already this season, Edmonton has rallied when trailing after 2 periods, a record of 2-5 under those circumstances. Again, Montreal, partly due to Montembeault, has closed out all 6 opponents in which it's led after 2. And they lead as a result of Gallagher's high slot tip in, his 8th from Matheson at 19:29 of the second period. That's the only goal of the hockey game. The shots were 8-6 in the second for Edmonton, 21-14 in favor of the Oilers for the game, but Montreal got the last 4 shots on net in that final 2 minutes of the second period, and one of those went in against Calvin Pickard. 1-0 Montreal, and when we come back, more live coverage back in our 880 Ched studios. It'll be Brendan Griffiths and Rob Brown. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Stop it, pause button.
Not sure that puck was set level on the Bell Center ice, and then a dart up the middle. Josh Anderson won't get around Troy Stetcher. Boy, he played that wonderfully. Didn't take a penalty, and Connor Brown the other way for the Edmonton Oilers. Stetcher with an effective check on Josh Anderson, a much bigger man, slapped in by Kulak, and that will be a reset for Caden Gooley as Draisaitl has come out with McDavid and Hyman to start this third period 5-on-5. Chris Knobloch not wasting any time. He's going to the whip here to start the third. Slavkovsky will rattle it around the boards. No one was in the vicinity, and McDavid makes a routine drop off to Hyman. He's stymied as he hit the line. He's got to come back on side. In the meantime, McDavid double-teamed, and Slavkovsky comes up with a puck. Fires it rink wide for Caden Gooley, and he'll slug it in from center. Pickard to leave it for Matthias Ekholm. Right-hand side, carefully spilled in by Hyman. McDavid after the puck. Matheson ushered on, but turned over by Suzuki. Draisaitl held the zone, put it off the boards. Matheson gave it right back, then Draisaitl tried a centering pass to McDavid, and an alert play by Goulart to intercept. Slavkovsky will carry it across the line for Montreal. Button hooks, waits for help, drops it off for Alex Newhook to the net. A good read by Calvin Pickard. He poke-checked that off the stick of Suzuki. No scoring chance. Corey Perry tugs it back through the neutral zone.
Oilers need 35 shots, Jack, for me to win this game. They're at 21 right now, and they didn't get a lot in the final 4 minutes of the second, as you know.
Jack Hyde and Newhook got it in deep. Ty Emerson, the puck carrier, works his way through the neutral zone. He'll dump it behind the Montreal defense. Struble up to Cole Caulfield. Goals and a steal. And he'll maintain possession in the offensive zone for Emberson. A shot, and that went off the pads of Montembeault. I'm not sure he ever saw it. Waved at, and Caulfield will pick it up at center. But Colson able to reel him in and just bump him off the puck. He has continued to play terrific hockey, even while not scoring. It clear by Perry. Armia, end-to-end, Bob. And Caulfield is not a guy who's known for moving slowly. Sent in deep by Hudson. Back behind the net, Heineman. Around to Yoel Armia. Coming off the left half boards. A quick dish down low. Heineman, sharp angle, and that hit the side of the net. They'll look to maintain in the corner with Armia. Pulled it free, did Armia. Had a shot blocked. Dermott blocked another one. And unable to thread it through was Kandata. Josh Brown, hard up the boards, but not hard enough. Held in momentarily by Kandata before finally being cleared by Dermott. Chipped over to Heineman by Hudson. He's thrust off balance by Josh Brown. Armia comes over. A wrap-up situation on Jeff Skinner and a clear for Henrique. Brought in by Hudson. Wines, fakes the shot. Forced out wide by Dermott. And he'll try to center. Deflected away from Gallagher. A second time, nudged off the side of the net. And grabbed by Edmonton's Evan Bouchard. He'll toss it ahead for McDavid. Drops to Draisaitl. Tried to center, and that went through bodies in front. Hyman plowed into Montembeault. Crowd wanted goaltender interference. A blast by Ekholm. Waved down because the net had been dislodged from its moorings. And that's a good call as Ekholm released the shot. Clearly the net was off. Hyman was run into from behind. There was no goaltender interference call, and now to make sure they get it right, Pierre Lambert will chat with David Brisebois.
Oh, face-off's coming outside the line. Hyman just couldn't stop himself. That play emblematic of the Oilers' challenges on that night. On this night, they had a 3-on-1 there, Jack.
He got bumped a little bit by Hudson, but you're right. His momentum was going to carry him in regardless. I mean, that could have been goaltender interference, quite frankly.
Hudson didn't get much of him there.
No, he didn't. I mean, as I see it, second look at it, he got a healthy piece of Montembeault.
What are you doing? By the way, we'll mention Kyle Dubas. The Four Nations Cup, Jack, is here, as you know, in February. Kyle Dubas, the president GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins, is here. He's part of Canada's Four Nations Cup team, and he's probably looking at Samuel Montembeault, who's played a heck of a game so far.
Probably looking at Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins, too. Here's Slafkovsky up the right-hand side for Montreal. He'll send it down low. Kirby Dach run into by Evan Bouchard. Neither of whom have had the kind of start of the year they were hoping for. Here's a shot from the point by Goulier. Juicy rebound spill, but he's able to clean up Calvin Pickard against Juraj Slafkovsky with 15:54 to go in the third. It's still 1-0 Montreal. Yep. Gallagher the only goal.
Edmonton's getting outworked now, Jack. I mean, the Oilers dominated the first half of the game. They didn't score in any of their 3 power plays. By the way, you talk about how good their 5v5 play is. If you look at their scoring chances per 60 on the power play, it is way down. They're not getting pucks. They don't shoot enough. And when they do shoot, it's too deliberate. And they're getting too many blocks.
Adam Henrique, with 4 minutes gone by in this third period, wins the face-off, pulling it back to Stetcher. Little give and go with Connor Brown, and it's Stetcher. Hard charging up to the red line. Brown hits the line. Drop pass. Stetcher. And it tied up. Newhook made the defensive play. Cole Caulfield brings it the other way. Newhook and Brown continue to go at one another as Caulfield throws a sharp angle chance toward Pickard. That's easily gobbled up with 4 1/2 gone by here in the third period. And the score is still 1-0. In favor of the Montreal Canadiens. Nugent-Hopkins now playing with Podkolzin and Perry, with McDavid and Draisaitl having been put together for the start of this third period by Chris Knobloch. Looking for a little instant offense to help Edmonton over the finish line.
Oilers, again, Montreal gets the puck in the zone. They put it to the net. Edmonton's sitting there trying to make 4 passes and pass it into the empty net.
Pendata against Nugent-Hopkins. And we'll have to do this one again. Pendata won the faceoff, squirted through defenders. And racing after, it'll be Lane Hudson. He'll glide back behind his own net before dropping it off. David Savard up the right-hand side, and that was deflected off the glass. They rule it in play. Thought it might have hit the corner glass. Instead, Corey Perry will funnel it back through the middle. Kulak drop pass. Podkolzin forced out wide by David Savard. Podkolzin put it back behind the net for Corey Perry. Return to Podkolzin. Snapped around the boards. Ty Emberson across to Kulak. Left point shot. Save Montembeault. Rebound. Savard dug in. Pendata ahead of Podkolzin on that puck. And now it's Savard finding Hudson for an outlet. Pendata will shovel it in from center. Pickard leaves it for Ty Emberson. 1-0 Montreal. Brendan Gallagher, a high slot tip in the final minute of the second period. Mike Matheson, the puck holder right now for Montreal, is the man who shot that puck. Caulfield, rink wide, looking for Jake Evans. Spun around the boards, and now knocked off balance was Newhook. Bouchard seems engaged as it's ripped around the boards. Matheson will step up. McDavid took it away. Draisaitl was checked immediately by Caulfield off the puck. Caulfield handed to Evans. Now Goulier, wrist shot, score! 2-0. Caden Goulie's second of the year. A battle loss started that play, Bob.
It's been a poor performance from Edmonton tonight. Goulet course, finished up the Edmonton Oil Kings, the WHL champions in 2022. Was the best of the Oil King first rounders at the Memorial Cup. We knew he was going to play right away. He activates, nicely worked around, and the Oilers are in a world of hurt here, down 2-0, and they don't look like they got any juice going at all.
Caden Gooley's second of the year. And the Montreal Canadiens have a little insurance. A 2-0 lead off the draw. Gallagher pinballed one off the backside of Connor Brown. Josh Brown will back off. Dermott up the left-hand side. Icing will be waved off as Jacky on the puck for Montreal. Turned it over to Jeff Skinner. He cuts inside. Centering pass, Derek Ryan. Poke checked away by Sam Montembeault. And it's lofted back through the middle. Gallagher, wrist shot, muscle toward the net. Time of the goal, 5:52. Caulfield and Evans with the helpers on Gooley's second. Jeff Skinner brings it out of the zone, turned it over. Josh Anderson flips it right back in. And Edmonton's 20 minutes to live is down to 13. Josh Brown. Troy Stetcher angled one up for Corey Perry. Suzuki came over, took the puck from him. A hit on Kirby Dock, and then from behind, Suzuki belted Stetcher. Kulak with Dock pressuring. We'll leave it for Podkolzin. Up the middle of the ice, Kulak. Podkolzin down the seam, gives it up. Perry, snapshot blocked. And the rebound cleared outside the zone. Back to collect. A little handoff to Kulak from Troy Stetcher. Rink wide to Corey Perry. He'll bump it off the boards, right side, looking for Nugent Hopkins, and Podkolzin down low. Podkolzin coming off the left corner boards, trying to feed the point, but that had been vacated by Kulak, and off the miscommunication, the puck travels the length of the ice. Stetcher a full 200 feet away as Edmonton completes a line change. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman over the boards. 12 minutes, 10 seconds to play. Montreal 2, Edmonton nothing. Bouchard to Draisaitl, taken off his feet as he hit the Canadiens line. Clean play, and here comes Montreal. Mike Matheson over the line. Snapshot steered to the corner by Calvin Pickard. The Canadiens did not keep the puck in, and it's Draisaitl looking for Hyman. Poke checked away and curled back to Caulfield. One-on-one with Bouchard back defensively. Caulfield spins, tried to center, and that was broken up by McDavid. And that might put Montreal in a bit of trouble, but Draisaitl put it right off a body. Caulfield's able to recover and fling it back in. And that's the story of the night. Whenever Montreal does make a mistake, Edmonton can't find open ice. Here's McDavid to Draisaitl on his backhand. Button hooks and feeds the point. Drive by Bouchard, well high, up on the glass, and the Canadiens are able to flick it back through center. Yoel Armia finding Kandata, reeled in from behind by Matthias Janmark. He'll get it in deep, and then got hammered by Ekholm. Bodies strewn all over the ice. Finally coming free with it is Armia. Looks at the point, and then eventually turns and fires. That was deflected and sitting at the side of the net. Heineman had his stick lifted by Bouchard, or it may have been 3-0. Stepping up, Arbor Jacky. He'll put it down low. Heineman let it go through for Jaden Struble. He'll shovel it down low. Backhanded around the boards. Janmark belted hard by Heineman. Jacky. He'll pump it back behind the net. Ekholm will turn, rifle one down the middle. Here's Jeff Skinner, one-on-one with Struble. A backhander and a tough save made by goaltender Sam Montembeault. Don't mind that read from Skinner. Here's the lead pass, Anderson. He was going to get reeled in. You might as well get a shot away.
You did.
And it was a good one.
But you're not beating Montembeault.
Anderson snapped across by Christian Dvorak. He's been banged up the last several years. Hasn't played 70 games since 2019 when he was still in Arizona. Dvorak able to clog up. Edmonton trying to get it out. Dermott has trouble. Dvorak wristed it down deep. Pickard turned it over. The steal, the shot, deflected away by Dvorak. Then he tried to center. Savard put it on the tape of Lane Hudson. A tough pass, and that's off the skate of Dvorak. And Montreal's going to have to back off here as it's flipped out by Henry. Rink wide, Hudson off to Slafkovsky. Wrist shot, glove save made by Pickard. Another good one off the rush against Slafkovsky, who can fill the net and wins the battle. Free it up for Hudson down the high slot. Perry Crowd thought Perry was guilty of a hold. None was forthcoming. Out to the point, Savard. One-timer, Hudson, and that was bumped away by Pickard. Back to Savard again. Wrist shot, and that hit bodies in front. Slavkovsky, and he's tripped up. Kulak, that's well earned by Montreal as far as the power play. Canadiens working awfully hard, and with 9:08 to go, they'll get a power play hooking Brett Kulak. Time of the penalty, 10:52. And when we return, the Canadiens will look for real separation here. They're on top by a score of 2-0 as Kulak trudges to the penalty box. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in Oil Country. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. As a musician, I'm drawn to the sounds of this great province. Whether it's the wind blowing down the Rockies, the rustling of grass across the prairie, or the sweet sound of a Ford Super Duty, it's all music to my ears. Speaking of Super Duty, with heavy-duty performance that's built for getting the job done right, it's no wonder this truck has Albertans singing its praises. The 2024 Ford Super Duty is available now at your Alberta Ford dealer. Just head on in today and tell them PB sent you.
Think you can't go back to school because you have a family or a full-time job? Yes, you can! Northern Lakes College provides a supported distance learning environment, offering a guided learning setting that supports you to succeed and provides the flexibility to suit your lifestyle. Explore programs in academic upgrading, business, health, human services, resource technology, university studies, and more, including a wide range of courses available through continuing education. The education you want, the flexibility you deserve. NorthernLakesCollege.ca.
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in Oil Country. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
9:08 to play. Third period. Montreal 2, Edmonton 0. Gallagher a tip in late in the second. Gooley a wrist shot from the left circle here in the third. And the Oilers' 20 minutes to live is down to 9. Nugent Hopkins, Henrique out there for the penalty kill. Montreal power play 0 for 1 tonight, but on the season a more than respectable 22%. Ekholm out there with Emerson on our Napa Auto Parts penalty kill, and a couple of false starts on this draw. Linesmen tonight, Ryan Gibbons and David Brisebois, working in conjunction with referees Pierre Lambert and John McIsaac. Front end of a back-to-back. Cam and Bob will have the back end tomorrow in Ottawa. The Senators are a 500 club at 8-1 after a 4-0 shutout loss to Carolina on Saturday. Cam and Bob will have the play-by-play for you on 880 Chad and the Oilers Radio Network, getting underway at 5 o'clock. That's your drive time face-off as Montreal moves in right to left on the power play, and a puck deflected by Ekholm ends up climbing over the plexiglass with 8:45 left in regulation. Canadiens have given up 2 shorthanded goals this year, and if you're ever looking for a worm turner, that might be just it. I don't know. I mean, Janmark and Ryan are next over the boards. Do you put McDavid and Draisaitl out next?
Well,
you got to change the complexion of this one.
I might make the same argument on the power play.
Ryan wins the face-off.
Maybe the time has come to change the power play around.
Well, obviously the penalty kill has been rolling 9 in a row, but just in terms of the game situation, you're down 2-0. Matheson will bring it in. He's tripped up by Dermott. Montreal does not get a call there for a 5-on-3. Instead, it's Gallagher from behind the net, locating Nick Suzuki. He's got it top of the left circle. Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Kirby Dach. Top of the right circle. Little surprised Montreal doesn't have 2 defensemen on the ice right now with a 2-0 lead. Matheson high slot. I guess no guts, no glory. You got to play to win. You can't play to just hold on. Suzuki to Dach, and now Lane Hudson has come on. Edmonton wanted too many men there. Suzuki, snapshot, save Pickard, and he held long enough to get the whistles that appear to be ready to squirt loose. 7:51 to play in the third period.
I think if your penalty kills struggle the way Edmonton's has, maybe you think to yourself, let's just keep going with who's got us on a 9-9 run here.
Well, the other thing is you do keep McDavid and Draisaitl fresh for the last 7 minutes, where presumably they're going to play 4.5 of those 7 minutes at a bare minimum. Face-off win for Henrique. He and Nugent-Hopkins to finish up on this PK alongside Ekholm and Emerson, who clears length of the ice. Montreal time for one last rush on the power play. 7.5 to go in the hockey game. The Canadiens lead by a score of 2-0. Edmonton shut out a couple of weeks ago by the New Jersey Devils. Montembeault again shut out the Maple Leafs 1-0 on opening night. He was brilliant at 40-plus saves.
He hasn't had to be as brilliant tonight.
No. Gallagher, Heineman, Newhook, Armia. Played back behind for Gallagher. Power play about to expire here. Snapped out. Hudson waits. Dishes off. Armia looking for a lane. Pulls the trigger left circle and a save made by Calvin Pickard. Edmonton's back to full strength. Make it 10 in a row for the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Newhook tries to burrow inside of Ekholm. Nugent-Hopkins slashes it free. This may be icing here. No, they'll wave it off. Canadiens none too happy with that. Leisurely back to pick it up, Matheson, and now Montreal looking to kill some time here, Bob. They're in no hurry, especially with Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman on the ice. Shoveled in by the Canadiens. Reaching the puck first is Christian Dvorak. Around to Jake Evans. Evans centers, and Dvorak just missed getting a tip there. Draisaitl getting worked over by Josh Anderson. Of course, the best medicine if you're Montreal is to force McDavid and Draisaitl to defend. A puck cleared down the middle. Again, no icing as Gouli trying to shield Hyman from that puck. He did so successfully, and Anderson was able to tuck it past Troy Stetcher. They'll wave off icing coming this way now as Edmonton back together.
Since the 1-0 goal for Montreal, it's been it's all Canadiens. The Oilers have been second best on pucks.
Here's Corey Perry. Battle won by Jack Guy. That'll be spun toward the goal line. Just enough draw on it to lie dead near the goal line, and we're down to 5:40 to play. And the Canadiens' lead is still 2 goals. Stetcher up the middle. Bump free. Trying to get there was Doc. Against Corey Perry, he did. Jack Guy got himself in trouble on his backhand. He had the whole room on the other side, and now Ekholm takes a shot set up by Perry. That was blocked. Rebound rattled around. Doc won a battle with Derek Ryan, and the Canadiens come up ice right to left. Another case of Montreal making a mistake and Edmonton not capitalizing. Jack Guy gave Edmonton second life on that shift. We're down to 5 minutes to play. Kulak having the table set for him by Pickard. He'll rush in, poke check by Jake Evans. Loose puck at center. Brown got it back from Newhook, and then it was flipped across. Kulak with Derek Ryan, a wrist shot and a blocker save made by Montembeault. And that hops out of play with 4:52 remaining. Edmonton's 20 minutes to live has dropped under 5, and the Oilers have been outshot in this third period by a count of 11-6. The score, 2-0 Montreal. We'll be back with a final 4:52 of regulation. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Oil Country, the ultimate Oilers watch party happens all season long. Attend Molson Canadian Oilers Game Day live throughout the season for your chance to win 2025-26 Edmonton Oilers season seats. Be there for the next Game Day live flight night for your chance to win a trip for 2 to watch the Oilers play in Chicago. Join them November 19th at Sherlock Holmes Pub North. For the full event schedule and to RSVP to the ultimate Oilers watch party, visit OilersGameDayLive.com.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
It's game on at City Ford.
With an all-star lineup of 2024 Ford favorites, save up to $5,000 on Escapes,
Up to $8,000 on Bronco Sports.
and up to $16,000 on F-150s.
Plus, find 0% financing options available on all 3 vehicles.
Score an all-star deal today and spin and win an iPad, Oilers merch, Costco card, even a trip to Vegas.
Visit City Ford on the St. Albert Trail.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Face off right side of Sam Montembeault. And the net is empty. Chris Knobloch is going 6-on-5 here with 4:52 remaining. Draisaitl with McDavid and Hyman in the low slot. Bouchard up top. Ekholm at the left point. Nugent Hopkins on the left half boards.
Try not to get graved out of the circle here, fellas. 2.
Draisaitl taking the draw against Jake Evans to the right of Montembeault. Oilers down 2 with less than 5 to go. Off the faceoff again, it went off the skate. Draisaitl actually won the draw. It's wristed down the middle and missed, as Mike Matheson was trying to really put the dagger in. And
you go for that.
Probably, yeah, well, I get it. You're up 2, but I'm not sure I'd go for it with 5 minutes to go. I think you go for it if you're up 2 with 2 minutes to go. I'm not sure you go for it there.
How about try winning a puck battle in the O-zone when you get a face-off win? Start there. The Oilers haven't won a puck battle last 15 minutes of this game. It's killing them.
Face-off won by Jake Evans, hard rim by Matheson. Suzuki did not get it out of the zone, and Hyman will direct back behind the net. Chance to move it. Gooley up the right-hand side. He hesitated, and it cost him. Draisaitl and McDavid able to gain control. Hyman behind the net for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Return to the point for Evan Bouchard. 6-on-5. The net empty. Oilers trail 2-0. Almost 4 minutes remaining. Here's McDavid. A shot. That was blocked by Gooley, who already blocked one off his hand early. Now it's Ekholm. He'll walk the line, high slot, move it to Bouchard. Montreal will allow this all day. Here's Bouchard. Down low, finally, right corner for Leon Draisaitl. Surveys, shoots, and that went off the skate of Matheson, who bumped it loose. He turned, didn't move the puck. Then it's chipped off the board, safely out by Nick Suzuki. Ekholm to Bouchard. He'll hit center, and now the Montreal line. He parts the seas, dropped it off, got it back from Hyman and over to Leon Draisaitl. Now Ekholm high slot. He shoots, and that was deflected over Montembeault. Gooley looks to clear, can't do it. Not enough on that. Draisaitl able to pick it off in the right corner of the offensive zone for Edmonton. Out to Ekholm. He walks the line. McDavid heads for the net. Draisaitl turns, shoots, and a save made by Montembeault. Good reactionary stop as Draisaitl tried to fool him. Here's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, left circle. Down low to McDavid, behind the net. McDavid gliding in front, tipped and cleared by Montreal. Lofted, dead center, empty netter. The Canadiens extend to a 3-0 lead with 3:08 to go. Just trying to get it out. Jake Evans put enough loft on that for it to land softly and straight. And it rolls into the back of the net for his 4th of the year, and more importantly, likely the decisive strike in this one. 3-0 Montreal. Well, again, Edmonton had chances with the net empty.
Never got the puck to the net because they're not desperate. Sitting there on the perimeter, don't put anything on goal.
Evans picked up his 100th NHL point on Saturday in the win over Columbus, and he likely seals this one with an empty netter.
You don't put any chaos on the opposition, put them under any duress whatsoever.
David Savard a blast, and that's a save for Calvin Pickard. Rebound Arbor Jacka. Put behind the net for Brendan Gallagher. Loose in the corner. Anderson reaching. Finding off a Jackie's skate. Here's Corey Perry up the left-hand side for Podkolzin. Hard net drive. Podkolzin taken down. No penalty was called. Left behind the net, Corey Perry. There's still traffic in the crease of Montembeault. Podkolzin isn't out of there yet. The Canadiens come up with a loose puck, and it's Christian Dvorak who will skate it up to the red line. So it appears as though Edmonton's 4-game unbeaten streak in regulation will come to an end. They've been 3-0-1 in their last 4. but they're likely going to drop to 9-8-2 with the 8-8-1 Senators waiting tomorrow. Drop pass, Adam Henrique. Brown a shot, gloved cleanly by Sam Montembeault, and now it seems like the only lasting suspense in this game will be whether or not Montembeault can complete the shutout. He stopped all 30 shots that have come his way, and Jake Evans with an empty netter to put Montreal ahead comfortably. It's 3-0. Montembeault looking for just his third career shutout in 159 games. The second one came in the opener at the expense of the Montreal Maple Leafs. Can he hang on and get the bagel tonight? He stopped 48 on opening night. He stopped 31 tonight. And we'll be right back with the final 2 minutes. The Oilers Radio Network.
Sportsnet Plus is your ultimate destination for Oilers games. Stream more matchups than anywhere else. Catch Oilers action all season. Plans starting at $19.99 a month. Subscribe now at sportsnetplus.ca.
Experience a game day meal that's second to none. Fanfare with Skip is your all-star lineup of local restaurants this hockey season. Watch Jack Michaels give you the play-by-play on each restaurant's connection to the community and our team. Visit EdmontonOilers.com/skip to watch this month's episode with PM Lounge. Then open your Skip app and tap in an order with exclusive fan access to a deal each game day during the month.
Did somebody say Skip?
Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Help turn off hesitation, turn off doubt, turn off fears. The YMCA is a charity that helps people turn off whatever's holding them back so they can let their potential shine. With your support, you can help us turn on confidence, connections, and possibilities. Whether it's supporting families, building life skills, or fostering well-being, the YMCA offers a wide range of programs that empower people to shine their brightest. Visit our website to see how you can help today.
Sportsnet Plus is your ultimate destination for Oilers games. Stream more matchups than anywhere else. Spectacular! Catch Oilers action all season. Plans starting at $19.99 a month. Subscribe now at sportsnetplus.ca.
We're back for the final 2 minutes at Montreal's Bell Center. The score 3-0 Montreal. Evans from Suzuki with the empty netter moments ago to give Edmonton what seemingly looks like an insurmountable 3-0 lead. And there's no McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice. Henrique,
they're not going to be
Brown
on the
and
ice.
Skinner. I don't expect them either. Flicked up the left-hand side. Heineman will leave it for Joel Armia. Wrist shot off the rush. A save made by Calvin Pickard. Pickard could be a loser for the second straight game in which the Oilers don't get a goal. Oilers shut out 2 weeks ago at home by New Jersey. 3-0. Now that was on the second of a back-to-back. This is the front end of a back-to-back. Ottawa again tomorrow as the Canadiens dump it back into the Oilers zone.
Well, they play like this tomorrow in Ottawa, they're going to get their butts kicked. Way worse than 3-0.
Here's Ty Emberson in from the right-hand side. Josh Norris off to a good start, coming off an injury. Stützle's been good. Kachuk, the usual suspects for Ottawa. But again, another team that's had a tough start, and that's been their problem the last 5 years, Bob. The Senators have gotten off to some miserable starts. And like Montreal, they had a little more expectations coming into this season. A steal by Armia and a flip back through the middle of the ice, as the Oilers never really threatened Montembeault. Working the perimeter, and now Brett Kulak, with less than a minute to go, will control on his own end for the Oilers. Podkolzin building steam up the left-hand side, in over the line. Boy, you'd love to get him off the schneid. Hasn't scored since March of 2023. Threw it around the boards for Kulak. Sometimes a goal in the waning moments of a night like this can salvage something long-term. Suzuki will chip it softly to Struble. Up the middle of the ice, Josh Brown with the interception and the dump in. Arbor Jackeye will pick it up for Montreal. Slavkovsky carries it to center. 10 seconds. Evans did not get it in as deep as he would have liked. Josh Brown to Kulak. Up the left-hand side, broken up, and now Evans will take it himself and make sure of the shutout for Sam Montembeault, who's perfect on officially 30 shots tonight. Your final score, Montreal 4-0.
Well, the Oilers lost momentum in this game on a moribund, predictable power play that refuses to play with any sense of urgency. That's where they lost the game. They had 3 power plays. The midpoint in the game, the Canadiens put a puck to the net. Edmonton refusing to put pucks to the net. When they do shoot, they're not getting through, which has resulted in the Oilers having one of the lowest shot rates in the league in terms of shots per 60 on the power play. And unfortunately, it's happened 3 or 4 times this year where Edmonton's lost momentum in the game. And the Canadiens got one late in the second, and they were best on pucks the entire third period.
Jack shot Edmonton 13-9, and the Oilers were the team that was trailing. They should have been the more desperate club.
The Oilers got their asses kicked in the third period. I'm sorry. That was not a pretty performance. They lost a lot of one-on-one puck. When Colson might have been their best player tonight. He at least was able to get some puck retrievals going, but way too easy of a night for Montembeault, and the end result is the Oilers with a underwhelming, disappointing 3-0 loss tonight. Look, I get it. During the course of the season, 82 games, you're going to have 5 or 6 games like this, but the Oilers got to start getting going here. Not good, not tonight. If
they want to avoid what's plagued them the last couple years, is having to mount that massive second half push, which can have lingering effects as you get to the playoffs because some of your guys are overly taxed. Yeah. And right now, Edmonton, look, is it anywhere close to the start last year?
Yeah, but they don't.
No, it is not.
It isn't, but they don't have as good a team as last year. I'm just going to say that right now. They had a secondary wave of players that frankly should have played a couple more guys more, like Dylan Holloway. They had guys that could push the pace further down the lineup. They don't have that right now. Fogle and McLeod, at any time they could put them with Leon for 4 or 5 games and give teams a different look. And so the end result, and now they go to Ottawa, which is a completely different team than the Montreal Canadiens.
But like Montreal, the Senators did not make any changes in the offseason. This is basically the same Ottawa club we've seen the last couple of years, and they're off to the same kind of sputtering start. And part of the reason they're having trouble, Bob, is the one guy they did add, Linus Ullmark, has not been that good to this point this season. Give me your scouting report.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. The last 3 years in Boston, he was .917, .938, .915. He's at .890. Forsberg's been the better of the 2 goaltenders. Ullmark with a -2.4 goal share. Jake Sanderson had a big...
Which means -2.4. He's given up 2.4 more than expected.
Yes, and then you look at Jake Sanderson. He's -10 this year in the back end. Shabbat's kind of wrestled some things down, but those guys are both playing 23 minutes a game. Kachuk, the only player in the league the last 3 seasons with 30 goals and 100 penalty minutes. He's going to be ready to go. And they got smoked in their last game, too. So they're going to be wanting to add to Edmonton's misery here. So we'll see what happens. But they've got a really good power play that's clicking at 27.6%. They got a positive goal differential. Edmonton is now -10 on goal differential. And what are we now? We're sitting at 19 games into the season. And I'll tell you, this one for me is really disappointing. I expected a infinitely better performance than what we saw tonight. I'm going to be very intrigued to see if they say anything, what the post-game comments are.
More disappointed than the 0-3 start. Why does this game irk you?
The game against Chicago, Calvin Pickard had a tough game in goal. Okay, he didn't have a very good start. Who did they lose to in the third? Calgary, second of a back-to-back. All right, well, he came back and beat
Calgary was on the second of a back-to-back, too.
Yes, they were. 30th place team in the NHL. And a team that's given up the most goals against in the league, you can't score one. Right? It's almost like they thought it was going to be easy. Well, we'll just show up and pass the puck around. And I'm sorry. I don't know if there needs to be soul-searching with a veteran team like this. But right now, they look like they lack jump. And, Jack, frankly, I'm going to go back to what I said. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. I'm expecting it to change. I would change an aspect or 2 of the power play, at least one. I'd put Ekholm. The problem is Ekholm's playing first unit PK as well. But Evan Bouchard doesn't have it right now. He's not feeling it. Just give him a little bit of a break for a couple games. Throw Ekholm in there.
Is this 11-7 alignment playing any havoc, do you think? It's 3 games in a row now.
Yeah. Well, You made a decision to carry Evander Kane on your active roster, the reality is you could have punted it down the road for when he returned and made some moves in and moved a body out or two, and they've been just short of forward. They don't have any. The other thing is, who would they recall? Kajula? Maybe Philp at this stage. Those would probably be their two best bets. I don't know. All I know is this team looked like, this team looked like it's lacked jumps, and there's a lack of options too. Like, is it best case scenario that you got a 37 and 39-year-old that probably should be alternating between Derek Ryan and Corey Perry on a nightly basis? But they were the least of the Oilers' problems tonight. It was their top guys that really struggled.
He's Bob Stauffer. I'm Jack Michaels. The final score tonight, 3-0 for the Montreal Canadiens. Gallagher, a high slot tip in the final 30 seconds of the second period, turned out to be the only goal that saved Montreal.